So guys, the time has finally come when old Amorgin has done his investigative journalist piece, done a little bit of digging around to see who is this company called Scopely, who delivers the Star Trek Fleet Command IP. Being a Trekkie myself, it's very close to my heart, and I've been often feeling let down by how shabby the implementation and development of this game and this product has been. I've had my run-ins with Scopely employees in the past, and people have reached out to me and requested numerous times that I do a little bit of digging around and reveal to people who this company are. I've come across this site, glassdoor.ie. I'll leave a link in the description below for you guys. You can go and check it out in more detail yourselves. I'm not going to go through every little bit of this site. I just wouldn't have the time. I've breezed through it already. We'll focus on a couple of bits and pieces in it. But Scopely, they've had their times with games like The Walking Dead, and they do Looney Tunes, and they do a number of other IPs. Star Trek Fleet Command is the one I'm mainly concerned with, but we mentioned to The Walking Dead as well. There was quite an uproar with The Walking Dead IP as well. Very unhappy customers, very disgruntled customers, and how that particular IP was used, how the game was developed, and I suppose how it was delivered in the end. And that's a story in itself. If you do a little bit of digging around, you'll see plenty of unhappy reports on that. Suffice to say, the Star Trek Fleet Command at least rivals it probably now at this stage. There's a lot of Trekkies like myself who feel that it just doesn't cut the mustard when it comes to delivering a product that keeps in line with the ethos of what it is to be a Trekkie and the Star Trek ethos in general. I'm gonna breeze through this. We're gonna look at some of the photos here to begin with. We're gonna follow that up with checking out some of the benefits to working for this company. We're gonna look at the experience of some people who have done interviews with this company, and even some of the salary scales. And finally finish off with some reviews from current and former employees. Safe to say from them images, guys, mostly Star Trek Fleet Command. You can see it there. Not too much Walking Dead there. A little bit of Looney Tunes, and smiles all around, yoga and happy faces everywhere. So very positive looking start there when you look at the photographs. We'll jump on into the benefits section here, guys. Now I'm going to check out the US. The Spain one, a lot of that's in Spanish, and I'm not fluent in the old Spanish, so we see a rating there for the benefits of a 3.8 out of 5. Not too bad, I guess. Current Scopely employees saying great health insurance, stuff like that, comprehensive coverage provided. A lot of people talking about plenty of free meals, cellular bill reimbursement up to $75, great. Like I say, guys, you just go and take a wee look at this yourselves. Bi-weekly massage appointments with Beth are great. I wonder, as a content creator, could I get a wee massage with Beth? I wonder, are the L-Cars guys getting massages with Beth? I wonder, is that why they're so friendly with Scopely at the moment? I wouldn't mind an old massage with Beth myself. And great company that provides good benefits. So all in all, quite positive benefits. It's saying there a 3.8 score out of 5. This is going back to 2015. Let's jump on to the interview section here. Overall, if we look at that, the experiences, the negative is there at about 59%. Now, if that was an election, if that was a political election to elect a government, that would be regarded as a landslide victory. It's quite negative. 2.9 average in terms of the difficulty, in terms of the experience of interviewing with this company. I found this one very interesting, that this guy felt that he was being asked very strange questions about how he would what was the requirements for an earthquake monitoring system. Strange kind of stuff there. Write a simple game from scratch. One of the interview questions. You can't show your personal projects. Lead interview, nothing too difficult from what he remembers. Fair enough. How would your past work experience help you get this job? That's a standard enough question to get asked. A lot of questions about process and handling overseas support staff. And Do you like snacks? This guy felt it was a horrible, weird, dysfunctional, lame, unprofessional, time-wasting and ignorant company of whack clones. As somebody didn't have a very positive interview there at all. Didn't get an offer, presumably. They ask mundane questions which really has no relevance in real world situations. Interviewer asks questions in unexpected certain. So you can get into the detail of that yourself. Wanted to know the algorithm used when an index is utilized on the database. Not when you should use this index over that index. Right, okay. I'm not up to speed with some of these roles that people would be interviewing, so some of this might go over my head, some of it might go over your head, but there are those there who are software engineers and office managers and that'll get some of this. Full day of interviews, an hour with this with 6 people. They flew me out and took care of my Uber rides, mostly situational and behaviour questions. Okay, tour. They give this person a tour as well. They had applied online originally. Fair enough. Let me see. Applied through an employee referral. It took 5 days. Normal startup interview for an engineer. Take home to start with. Okay. Honestly, don't remember interview questions. So on. So again, I'll skip on to page 3 of this. See if there's anything juicy there. A 2.9 difficulty. Like, it's not great there. Long day of interviews with several managers. What will you bring to the table? 1 month contracting work. Normal interview stuff. Why do you want to join? 2 interviews that person had, and so on, guys. So you can browse that at your own time. Let's get into the salaries. Let's take a look at what people are getting paid. Let's see here. We'll jump into the Los Angeles one just to just have a quick nosy to begin with. So straight away we're seeing 100,000 plus. Software engineer, data scientist. We'll skip on down. Data analyst. Data analyst lowest paid there so far. Executive assistant quite low paid there compared to some of the rest. We'll go on another wee bit here. CRM manager, associate community manager, quite low paid there. You'd expect that you're dealing with people, you're dealing with the community, you're dealing with all of the customers and the free to plays, thousands upon thousands upon thousands of people, managing moderators and stuff. That's quite low compared to some of these other roles. Merchandise coordinator, quite low paid there compared to some of the rest of them. Project managers are on 170 to 183k, and it's all in dollars, American dollars. Senior community manager, 84 to 90k, a little bit better than the associate, but still quite low paid compared to the rest. The intern's only getting about $2,000. That's not great. Director R&D management, approaching 200k there. Let's see with some of these other guys. Marketing director, 79k. Quality assurance, 41k. That's quite low. And that's probably why the quality, people are giving out about the quality, because the quality assurance project managers being paid peanuts. You know what they say, you pay peanuts, you get monkeys. Let's see. 53k for development analyst, business development analyst. And big bucks there for a couple of other roles, guys. So again, you can browse the detail of this yourself. Let's see. Analytics manager, lead engineers, office administrator. Hourly, you're getting $18 to $19 hourly to be an office administrator. Director, community relations management, slightly better, but still not among the big bucks by the looks of it. I want to jump out here to let's see what they're paying in Europe, in Spain. We'll ignore Culver City, California at the moment, and we'll go to Europe. Not a whole load listed there. Customer service team leader, 26k to 28k. Not huge money. Senior talent partner, software engineer. Okay, the highest paid there is under 50 grand compared to the big bucks that they're getting paid in America. Alright, let's look at the reviews here, guys. These are from current and former employees. Great benefits, catered lunches, free beer on tap at events, grand segmented departments, difficult work-life balance, chaotic political and no work-life balance. Alright, not sounding great there, but a 3.9 overall. 90% approve of the CEO. And 70% recommend a friend. Let's take a look at the meat of this. I worked at Scopely full time. Working alongside smart-driven people, usual tech startup growing pains. That's in 2020. Well, to call it a tech startup growing pains, like this company's been around 5 years, 6 years now at this stage. Could you say that there's growing pains after that length of time? Not sure if the person who wrote that review actually understands the company that they're working for. Or that they did work for, former employee. Maybe they were reviewing it from their experiences back in 2015 or something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe Scopely were around even longer than 5 or 6 years. If you know better than me, there, guys, leave a comment below. I've been working at Scopely full time for more than 3 years. I've not experienced any company like Scopely in all my years of working. There's a feeling that anything is possible when you're here and so on. There's growing pains just when you feel like you know everyone. The company expands, so it can feel like you're constantly relearning. Fair enough, but that's in 2019. They're talking about growing pains there again for a company that's 4, 5, 6 years on the market. Like, you can't really be talking about growing pains, so that's a crock of shite there for starters. Like, to say that it's growing pains, any company I know of that's been around more than 2 or 3 years, if they're not out of their growing pains at that stage, then don't be using growing pains as an excuse. I worked at Scopely full-time for more than 5 years, incredibly smart co-workers, confident, experienced leadership, plenty of opportunities for growth, high-pressure work environment due to this. Some people feel implied pressure not to take vacation. If you're not a self-starter, this isn't the environment for you. Okay, but a good review from that person. A place to have impact with an eye towards long-term gains. Engaged leaders, co-workers, well-intentioned and driven, ability to make an impact, no 401k match, competitive company, not market leading due to the stage of company development. And again, that's 2019. The stage of company development has been around for a while. I don't know how you can say there's a company in development. Like, I guess every company's growing and expanding and evolving all of the time anyway. But you can't really call them a startup after 5 years, can you? You know, 5, 6 years, can you call them a startup anymore? They've got multiple IPs from a variety of different games. I don't know if that applies anymore. It sounds like excuses so far. Let me know what you think, guys. Achieve focus environment, hyper focus on bringing in great talent. Working full time for less than a year. Very positive review there. A lot of really talented, passionate people. Strong culture of innovation. Great. Here's one. This is from August last year. This is 5 or 6 months old at this stage, 7 months old maybe. Let's see what they're saying. Work-life balance seems to be the one that's rated highest with only 2 out of 5. We're going to take a wee look at the detail of this. The company culture itself is great, and they're wonderfully talented people on each team. Design and art, UX, research, engineering, free lunch, there you go. Facilities are large despite the flaws in their games, making stupid amounts of money. So if you keep your head down, avoid confrontation, i.e. an opinion, you can probably be comfortable for a while at Scopely. This is very interesting stuff here, guys. Take a very close look at the fact that the positive reviews are from all from product managers, and anything negative is from a different position. Even when they're anonymous, you can tell that from the catchy words like growth, initiative, elevation, synergy, etc. You know the kind of things people who want to buy what they're selling would say. That's because Scopely is a political minefield where product managers reign supreme. If you don't play the game and put up any resistance to a decision that a product manager makes, your time at the company is limited, and they will find a bus to throw you under and force you out. People here are exhausted by the politics, being forced to implement every idea conceived by a product manager, good or bad. If something good happens to an app's revenue or retention, a product manager will get the credit. So that's the way of the world, that the guys up the food chain take the credit for the hard work of the guys on the ground. I've done my fair share. You can read through that in your own leisure there, guys. I've done my fair share of criticising of Scopely and their employees, and I want to take this time to the guys like Panic. I don't do this very often, but I want to issue an unreserved apology to anybody that I have offended in Scopely who works on the ground and feels like this employee feels here. It was never my intention to add pressure to guys like this who feel that their credit's being stolen, that are basically working with a crowd of arseholes, people who are involved in the disgusting practices that I have given out about before. Let's see what else he's saying here. They'll get a senior VP Duke with a title without resistance. PMs get promotions and raises several times a year. We'll find people in many other positions who have never gotten a raise. My heart goes out to them guys. They have my full sympathy. I can only imagine what it's like to have to work in that kind of environment. The project manager either find manipulative ways to fire or drive them out of the company when they stand their ground on perspectives that conflict with what a product manager's order. So this is where the heart of the problem lies, guys. So your ire and your disgust at the way they deliver this much loved IP really needs to be directed at these arseholes up the food chain who really don't give a shite about anything except their careers and how much money they're going to make. And don't give me that argument about a company needs to make money and blah blah blah. This company's making plenty of money. We can see from the salary scales that the people who are dealing with the customers and dealing with the people on the ground are getting paid peanuts compared to what the rest of them is getting paid. Very, very ugly looking practices by the sounds of this employee. Let me see. The craziest thing, most of the product managers at the company have no or minimal experience in mobile, and it shows. They have Harvard business degrees and finance backgrounds. So these are the guys that hide in the background, take all the credit, and don't have to deal with us ignorant players when we're giving out about this product. These guys need to be revealed from the shadows. These guys need to be exposed for the disgusting practices that are involved. And the guys that work on the ground need a medal for putting up with this. Anybody who has worked in this company and has stuck with it and tried to deliver a good product, a product to be proud of among the Trekkie community, those guys need a medal and a pat on the back, and they have my unreserved apology if they felt offended to any comments that I have made in the past. The brown nosers and the people, some of the messages I've got have talked about how people are using their sexuality and their gender and their race and all sorts of things to get ahead with this company, and that it works, and that the people who keep their heads down and try to just deliver on a good product and question the behavior patterns when they see them, anything that's not very nice and that's selling out the players or the IP, those people have been bullied and abused. And it says here, but I'm so sick of seeing good people abused and bullied out of their jobs for trying to do their jobs and make the best games that they can. So those guys are the real heroes. Those guys are the ones that do not deserve any of the shite that we as a community can throw at them. We'd like to send out our best wishes to those guys. Anybody currently working in this company that's experiencing this, you have our full sympathy. So the advice to management that this guy gives you: build a culture where teams are bullied by the product managers. They're terrified of them because rubbing them a wrong way in any way means a chat with HR about how you're not aligned with the Scopely culture. I've got a real sense of this being a content creator. The way they have treated me as a content creator was with the bully boy tactics and the jackboot. I can sympathise fully. This is why I wouldn't sign an NDA with them. This is why I rejected that, and I don't want to have anything to do with them in any real official sense because of this kind of culture. If that culture changes, then I'll change my mind on that. But this is very damning altogether. Let's see some more positive stuff. Great company. I worked at Scopely full time for more than a year. Friendly environment, catered lunch, great benefits. The office can get pretty cold. Okay. Company benefits are good. Location, work-life balance, great. Okay. Toxic environment. Oh, hold on. People team is the only treasure in this company. Careful to expand. Make sure to recruit earnest people. Having an honest culture is more important than surface level appearance. I'd agree completely. That's as for any company really. I have been working at Scopely full time more than a year. Company's growing a lot of opportunity for career growth. It's the perfect moment to be at Scopely. So that's from May last year. These are these are going back in time. So it's worth noting that those negative ones are more recent. Let me see, a lot of talented people, driven by good perks, including lunch, massages. So the massages must be true. I don't know. Caliber of exec team fluctuates. Some of the execs are exceptional. That's to be expected, I suppose. Unqualified, terrible people. That shows sometimes. Strong talent density and a human touch. Amazing career opportunities and co-workers. Expectations are high, so there's not a place to coast or get comfortable with the status quo. Well, I'd agree that maintaining the status quo is never a good thing. Segmented departments and difficult work-life balance. Okay. So there you are, guys. You can browse this. There's 93 reviews on this. Exciting times, a great place to be. I'd love to hear you as the community. I'd love to hear your comments. If there is a Scopely employee, like I've talked to a couple of Scopely employees privately anyway, but if there is a Scopely employee there that's watching this that would like to reach out with their comments to tell me how much of an arsehole I am and how wrong I am, or to say that I'm dead right to do this video or whatever, then feel free. I won't throw you under the bus, despite what some people might say. I won't throw you under the bus if you're reaching out in all honesty to me. And we have a video coming very soon, guys, focused on customer support. We'll do a video on the team of moderators and how they deal with that, and the community managers and stuff like that, and a few other wee critiques with the community panel on how this company does business and deals with the community. A lot of people saying it's an exciting time to be at Scopely. That was around the time of global launch of Star Trek Fleet Command. Full-time employee for less than a year. Fair enough. Not all it's cracked up to be. Working at Scopely for more than a year. Impressive catered lunches. Great benefits to all. Mobile gaming industry is about making money first and foremost. Let's see. That will always be the driving factor in most decisions. Scopely is pretty much diseased by this as well, so be aware that if you're thinking about going to come in, and priority is always going to be about making the best game there is. Be careful if you're going to think that it's about making the best game. Well, we know that with the amount of bugs and the new content that's being pushed out all of the time, we know that that they're not concerned with delivering the best possible product. All I can do as a content creator is try to apply a little bit of pressure. There are those out there that are playing the game, being all nice, playing the political game with them. I don't think that they're going to get anywhere. I think that the more that they get contaminated by a toxic political environment like that, the more that they're going to capitulate to the demands of the paymasters, especially when there's freebies and perks going that are buying people off, essentially getting people. The policy seems to be get their nose in the trough, and if anybody's rebellious in any way, get them out. I'd be more along the lines of the old Virgin Branson kind of policy on you train your employees so that they're ready to leave you, but you treat them like they never want to. That would be my philosophy when it comes to running a company. I have sat on a board of directors for quite a large company myself. I do know what I'm talking about when it comes to that. That would be the philosophy that I find works best, not this buy them off, get their nose in the trough, because that only works for a certain amount of time. You can't really buy people's loyalty. Ultimately people will have to hand out more and more. Let's see, Scopely Barcelona, a 1-year studio with enormous potential. I wonder, was that panic? People, great team atmosphere. This was in June last year. Maybe it wasn't panic. I don't think he was hired at that stage. Maybe he was. Opportunities to grow. Great time difference in Los Angeles can sometimes be a challenge. Okay. So there's plenty in that. Avoid great colleagues other than the management, catered lunches, dog friendly. I like that. I don't think I would fit in at this company somehow. Super short-sighted and don't care about burning their employees. Finger pointing is rampant when anything goes wrong. Gaming is hard and they need to realise that. Don't believe the positive headlines about Scopely as it's been running in place for a while. Grow up and stop worrying about your next round of funding. Let your teams do their work without demolishing them and starting over every 6 months. This would have been when we were in before global launch, when we were on the founder server, would have been playing Star Trek Fleet Command. So Star Trek Fleet Command would have been getting ready to go to global launch at this stage. Hold your long-term employees accountable for their results, even if they've been with you since the beginning of the company. Okay, this is not the company you're looking for. A lot of veterans to learn from and work with. Perks such as catered lunches. Okay, some department senior leadership is far too hands-on, making things difficult. Micromanagement is never easy. Not all is cracked up to be. So there it is. I'm not going to go through them all, guys. You can do that yourself when you get a chance. I'd love to hear your opinions on this. Catered meals again. I'd love to hear your opinion on this video, guys. I'd love to hear your opinion on Scopely. Share this with anybody that you know that might be interested in this kind of video, looking at the company that delivers on the Star Trek Fleet Command IP, or indeed Walking Dead or Looney Tunes or any of the other IPs. And if you're one of those employees, or you're one of those super fans like myself, make sure you reach out to me on Discord or through Twitter or my social media platforms. I'm on Reddit as well, and leave a comment below, and hopefully this has done a wee bit of a reveal for you guys, and we'll catch all of you guys again very, very shortly. We'll finish this off with the company review. 200 to 500 employees, headquarters Los Angeles, founded 2011, so it's not a startup. That's 10 years old nearly. Private company, video games, 100 to 500 million euros per year. Unknown competitors, fair enough. So there you have it, guys. Until the next time, at this time of lockdown and self-isolating and all of that, it was a great opportunity for me to go and do this little bit of investigative journalism. And until the next video, look after yourselves and look after each other, and I'll catch you all again very, very soon. Cheers.